Mein Name ist Tessa Monroe, 34 years old, enttonigt im Stepping into a past I tugt ID left behind.
The polished glass doors of Luminary, Seattle's most exclusive restaurant, reflect my image as I smooth my simple charcoal dress, a thrift store find I've tailored to hug my frame. My father, Robert Monroes, 60th birthday dinner is happening inside, orchestrated by my mother, Claire, to showcase our family's status. For years, they've dismissed my dreams of owning a restaurant, calling my culinary passion a waste of time. Claire even warned me last week that I couldn't afford to chip in for this dinner, assuming I'm still the struggling line cook she remembers. She doesn't know I've built an empire, and Luminary is mine. I'm Tessa, the owner, and tonight, I'm ready to turn their world upside down. The invitation arrived 2 weeks ago, a cream envelope embossed with gold, Claire's elegant script inside, Tessa, join us for your father's 60th at Luminary. Contribution expected. The word contribution stung, a reminder of their belief that I'm barely scraping by. I almost declined, tired of their judgment, but something stopped me. 5 years ago, I walked away from the Monroe family's expectations, choosing kitchens over their corporate ideals. Now I'm back, not to beg for their approval, but to show them what I've created without their help. My stomach knots as I adjust my silver bracelet, my only accessory, a gift from my mentor, Chef Amara. Sometimes, the hardest tables to join are the ones you've already left. I pause outside Luminary, the restaurant's sleek exterior glowing under Seattle's drizzle. The name, chosen 3 years ago when I opened, means a guiding light, a nod to my journey through doubt and darkness. Inside, I know Claire will be holding court, her pearls gleaming, her voice sharp with authority. My older brother, Nathan, 38, and his wife Lauren, will be there, flaunting their tech startup success. My younger sister, Elise, 30, a corporate lawyer like Dad, will sip wine and nod at Claire's every word. They've always been the golden children, fitting the Monroe mold of wealth and prestige, while I was the odd one out, the one who traded boardrooms for burners. Before I continue, let me ask, have you ever been underestimated by those closest to you, judged for chasing a dream they didn't understand? Share your story in the comments below, and if you've ever had to prove your worth, hit that like button. It connects us in this fight. Growing up in Bellevue, our family was a pillar of Seattle's elite. The Monroe Mansion, with its manicured lawns and floor-to-ceiling windows, hosted galas where tech moguls mingled with lawyers. Claire, a former PR executive, crafted our image with precision, her every move designed to elevate our status. Robert, a senior partner at a law firm, was her quiet counterpart, his approval reserved for achievements that matched his own. Nathan thrived in their world, launching a fintech startup at 25, now valued at $50 million. Elise followed Dad's path, graduating from Stanford Law and joining his firm. Me? I was the disappointment, sketching menus in my notebooks, sneaking into the kitchen to experiment with our cook Marisol. Marisol, a Filipino woman with a warm laugh, saw something in me my parents never did. You've got a palate, Tessa, she'd say, teaching me to balance spices for her adobo. Food isn't just fuel, it's love. By 14, I was hosting secret dinner parties for friends, turning leftovers into feasts. By 17, I was working weekends at a local diner, saving tips for culinary school. Cooking is for staff, Claire declared when I mentioned my plans. Monroes hire chefs, not become them. Robert was blunter, you'll regret throwing away your potential for a kitchen job. To appease them, I enrolled at the University of Washington, majoring in business to keep the peace. But I found ways to feed my passion, taking food science electives and working nights at a gastropub, learning to plate and pair. I started a supper club in my dorm, charging classmates for 3-course meals, using the cash to attend workshops with Seattle chefs. My double life held until junior year, when Chef Amara Reyes, a James Beard winner, visited campus for a lecture. After tasting my amuse-bouche at a student event, a bite of seared scallop with yuzu foam, she pulled me aside. Who taught you to balance flavors like this? She asked, her dark eyes serious. Mostly myself, I admitted, from books, practice, Marisol. She handed me her card.
You're wasting your time here. Come to my kitchen in Portland. I'll make you a chef.
That night changed everything. I went home, stood in our pristine living room, and told my parents I was dropping out to attend culinary school in Portland.
The silence was deafening.
This is unacceptable, Robert said, his voice low but lethal. We've invested in your future.
Claires face hardened.
If you choose this hobby, you're on your own, no trust fund, no support. Nathan, home from a startup pitch, shook his head.
Always the rebel, Tess.
Good luck surviving on minimum wage. Elise laughed coldly. You'll be back when you realize kitchens are dead ends. I left the next day with $3,000 from my supper club, a suitcase, and a bus ticket. The next 5 years were grueling. I lived in a shared Portland apartment, worked 16-hour shifts, and took loans for culinary school. But under Amora's mentorship, I thrived. Her kitchen was a crucible, intense, creative, alive.
I learned to butcher, sus vide, and innovate, my hands calloused but my heart full.
2 years ago, an investor, Elena Voss, tasted my tasting menu at Amora's pop-up and offered to back me. We found a failing bistro in Seattle, gutted it, and opened Luminary. 6 months later, I bought out Elena, becoming sole owner. Today, Luminary's the city's hottest reservation, featured in Food & Wine's best new restaurants. My family knows I'm in food, but nothing of my success. I've kept it that way, wanting to earn respect on my own terms. Tonight's dinner is the perfect stage. Claire chose Luminary for its exclusivity, unaware it's mine. She called last week, her voice dripping with pity. Tessa, we're splitting the bill for your father's dinner, but if you can't afford it, just let me know. We'll cover you. Her assumption, that I'm too poor to contribute, lit a fire in me. I accepted the invitation, not to seek validation, but to close a chapter. 5 years of distance have given me clarity. I'm secure in my success, ready to face their judgment without crumbling. I push through Luminary's doors, the familiar hum of the restaurant enveloping me. The dining room is a vision, dark wood, gold accents, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the Puget Sound. The scent of truffle oil and fresh herbs, my daily symphony, grounds me. Usually, I'm in the kitchen, my chef's coat starched, barking orders. Tonight, I'm a guest, my charcoal dress understated, my dark hair in a sleek ponytail. My staff, trained to perfection, glance my way, their eyes widening. Javier, my head server, approaches, his expression questioning.
I give a subtle shake of my head, mouthing, not yet.
He nods, slipping back into his role. From the entrance, I spot them at the center table, arranged like a portrait of affluence. Claire, in a cream Chanel suit, examines the menu with exaggerated focus.
Robert in a tailored navy blazer, sips bourbon, high silver hair catching the light.
Nathan, in a tech bro sweater, gestures animatedly to Lauren, her diamond earrings sparkling. Elise, in a black sheath dress, scrolls her phone, her wine glass half empty. The table's set with my custom plates, the linens I chose, the candles I sourced. Every detail is mine, but they don't know it. Maya, my hostess, greets me with a warm smile. Miss Monroe, your party's seated. May I show you to the table? She catches herself, omitting my usual title, Chef Tessa, and I appreciate her discretion. Thank you, Maya, I murmur, following her. As we approach, Claire notices me first, her eyes performing a quick scan, calculating my worth and finding it lacking. Tessa, darling, she says, rising for an air kiss. You made it. We were wondering if you'd manage.
I'm here, I reply, checking my watch. 7:00 sharp.
Robert stands, offering a stiff hug. You look well, he says, his tone implying I've fallen short of some unspoken standard.
Nathan grins, clapping my shoulder.
Hey sis. Long time.
Still flipping burgers.
Lauren laughs, her smile practiced. He's kidding, Tessa.
You look nice.
Elise barely looks up, offering a curt nod.
Good to see you.
I take the last empty seat, the familiar weight of their judgment settling in. Claire gestures to the menu. We've ordered champagne. I hope that's okay given your situation. The implication, I can't afford it, hangs heavy. I notice they've chosen the priciest bottle, a show of wealth typical of Monroes.
Around US, Luminary hums, the licting soft, the sound balanced, wer detail my creation.
My staff moves seamlessly, their glances subtle but loyal. Javier pours champagne, catching my eye with a raised brow. I shake my head slightly, he knows to wait. So, Tessa, Claire begins, her smile sharp. What's new with you? Still in those kitchens? The table's focus shifts to me, 5 pairs of eyes ready to judge. I sip my champagne, the bubbles crisp, served at the exact temperature I've trained my team to maintain. I'm still cooking, I say simply. Learning, growing. Elise smirks, twirling her glass. Cooking? Like, what? Line cook? Caterer? Nathan laughs. Come on, Tess. You're what, 34? Time to move up. My startup's hiring, entry level, but it's a start. I smile, letting their barbs slide. Tonight, I'm playing the role they expect, struggling Tessa, the family failure. But the stage is mine, and the curtain's about to rise. The dining room of Luminary, my restaurant, pulses with the rhythm of a perfectly orchestrated evening, its dark wood tables gleaming under soft gold lighting. The scent of truffle oil and roasted garlic weaves through the air, a symphony I've composed over 3 years as owner and executive chef. I sit at my family's central table, my charcoal thrift store dress a quiet contrast to their designer attire, my silver bracelet, Chef Amara's gift, catching the candlelight. My mother, Claire, in her cream Chanel suit, sips champagne with calculated elegance, her eyes flicking to me with pity. My father, Robert, in a navy blazer, nods at my brother Nathan's tech startup boasts, while Nathan's wife, Lauren, sparkles in diamonds. My sister, Elise, in a black sheath dress, scrolls her phone, her smirk barely hidden. They think I'm the same Tessa they dismissed 5 years ago, a struggling line cook who can't afford this dinner. They don't know Luminary is mine, and I'm savoring the moment before the truth lights up their world. Claire sets down her glass, her voice sharp but sweet. Tessa, you must tell us about your work. Still slaving away in those greasy kitchens. The table's attention shifts, their gazes heavy with judgment.
Nathan grins, leaning back. Yeah, sis, what's the deal?
Still chopping onions for pennies. Lauren laughs, her tone patronizing. I'm sure it's fulfilling, Tessa. In its own way. Elise looks up, her eyes glinting. What do you even do? Waitress? Prep cook? Their words are blades, honed by years of dismissing my culinary dreams, but I've built armor in Portland's kitchens and Seattle's dining rooms. I'm in food, I say simply, sipping my champagne, its bubbles crisp at the precise 45 degrees I've trained my staff to maintain.
Keeping boozy, learning. Claire's smile tightens.
Well, we're glad you're managing, dear. But surely by 34, you're thinking about something more stable. Robert clears his throat, his voice gruff. Kitchens are tough, Tessa. You could still pivot. Nathan's firm has openings. Nathan nods, gesturing with his glass. Entry level, but better than scrubbing pots. I could pull strings. I smile, letting their assumptions pile up. Thanks, but I'm good, I say, my tone light but firm.
Elise scoffs, twirling her fork.
Good? You're here in that dress, Tessa. No offense, but it screams thrift store.
Claire's eyes flick to my outfit, her pity deepening.
If you'd told me, darling, I could have lent you something suitable. Luminary's quite exclusive. The irony is delicious. They're dining in my kingdom, critiquing my clothes, unaware I own every plate they're touching. Javier, my head server, approaches with the amuse-bouche, a bite of smoked salmon tartare on a rye crisp, topped with dill and a lemon zest curl. Compliments of the kitchen, he says, placing one before each guest. His eyes meet mine briefly, a flash of loyalty before he slips back into professionalism. Nathan pops his into his mouth, barely chewing. Not bad, he says, shrugging.
Lauren nibbles hers, frowning.
It's fine but a bit fishy. Elise pushes hers aside, untouched. I don't do salmon, she says, as if it's beneath her. Claire takes a delicate bite, her expression neutral. It's quaint, she says, setting it down. I suppress a smile, knowing the tartare salmon was flown in from Alaska this morning, the dill sourced from a local farm I've partnered with for years. Their dismissal stings, not for me, but for my team, who pour their hearts into every dish. Robert signals Javier for the wine list, making a show of examining it. Let's get something impressive, he says, pointing to a $600 Barolo. This should do. I know that wine intimately. I selected it during a trip to Piedmont last year, meeting the vintner myself. It's spectacular, but wrong for the upcoming courses. May I suggest a pairing?
Adventure, keeping my tone casual. Robert warf es me off.
I know my wines, Tessa. Javier catches my eye, silently asking for direction. I nod subtly. Let him have his way. This isn't the battle to fight. The first course arrives. A seared scallop with cauliflower puree and crispy pancetta, a dish I perfected after months of testing. Now this looks promising, Claire declares, cutting into her scallop. Nathan swirls his wine, the Barolo clashing with the dish's delicate flavors. Decent wine list, he says. Not world-class but passable. Javier, overhearing, shoots me a quick glance, and I offer a subtle smile. He's a sommelier I poached from a Michelin-starred restaurant, and he's turned down offers to stay with me. So, Tessa, Lauren begins, her tone falsely kind.
How do you afford a place like this?
I mean, a dinner here must cost more than you make in a month. The table's eyes lock on me, their curiosity edged with condescension. I manage, I reply, my voice even.
Elise Laus, sharp.
Manage?
Come on, Tess.
Are you maxing out credit cards?
Dating Arichgi. Nathan leans forward, grinning.
No shame in that, sis. Just be honest.
Wo's footing the bill?
I take a bite of scallop, savoring its buttery sear, and let their questions hang. I'm here, aren't I?
Isai, meeting Nathan's Gase.
Claire jumps in, her voice dripping with concern. Tessa, we're just worried. If you're struggling, our door's open. You don't have to pretend. Robert nods, his tone stern.
Pride is fine, but don't let it ruin you. Come back to business school, Therese Stilltime.
Their words echo the past. Claire's ultimatum when I chose culinary school, Nathan's mockery, Elisa's cold laughter. 5 years ago, they cut me off, assuming I'd fail. Instead, I thrived under Chef Amara's mentorship, built Luminary from a failing bistro, and turned it into Seattle's culinary crown. Food and Wine's feature last month called it a beacon of innovation. But I've kept my success secret, wanting to face them as the Tessa they expect before revealing the Tessa I've become. The second course arrives, a roasted quail with fig reduction and farro, a spring special I'm proud of. This is more like it, Robert says, cutting into his quail. Claire tastes hers, her expression guarded. It's interesting, she says, as if searching for fault. Elise pushes her plate away after one bite.
To gemi, she declares.
Lauren analyzes her dish like a critic, using terms that make no sense. The farro's too chewy, she says, frowning. Nathan eats half, then checks his phone. Not bad, but portions small, he grumbles. I catch Javier's eye, seeing the flash of disappointment he masks with a smile. My team executed this dish flawlessly, yet my family critiques it thoughtlessly. I feel protective, not of myself, but of Luminary, the family I've built with my staff. The third course, a hand-rolled tagliatelle with spring peas, pancetta, and mint, featured in Bon Appetit, arrives, and their reactions are predictably dismissive. Pasta's overrated, Elise says, twirling a strand. I had better in Italy. Claire comments on the tiny portion, while Nathan calls it fancy for noodles. As the plates clear, Claire leans toward me, her voice low. Tessa, we're splitting the bill, but if it's too much, just say so.
We don't want you stretching yourself.
Her concern is a veneer, her tone implying I'm a charity case. Robert nods, his voice firm. No need to play hero. We'll cover you.
Nathan smirks. Yeah, Tess, don't bankrupt yourself over Dad's birthday.
Elise raises an eyebrow. Seriously, how are you even here? This place is insane.
I sip my Wine, the familiar notice of a sanse I cose centering me.
I can cover my share, I say calmly. Claire's eyes narrow, disbelieving. Can you though? A meal here's more than a cook's paycheck. Be honest. The table falls silent, their challenge deliberate, echoing years of doubting me. I'm about to respond when Javier approaches with the fourth course, A duck breast with cherry gastrique and parsnip puree. Undercooked, Nathan announces after one bite, though it's a perfect medium rare.
He signals Javier.
Take it back, cook it properly. Javier's eyes flash, but he nods, taking the plate. I give him a subtle nod. He'll replace it, not ruin my dish. Claire sighs, her tone exasperated. Tessa, you still haven't answered. How are you paying for this? The tension is palpable, their eyes boring into me. I could reveal everything now, watch their smugness crumble as they realize Luminary's mine. But I wait, letting the moment build. The dinner progresses through the final savory course, a wagyu beef with black garlic and truffled potatoes, and into dessert, a deconstructed lemon tart I designed. Their critiques continue, each dish met with nitpicks. By coffee, I'm drained, the weight of their condescension heavy. Then comes the check, the moment I've anticipated. Javier places the black leather folder in the center, his eyes meeting mine, questioning. Robert reaches for it, but Nathan intercepts. Let me, Dad, he says, his generosity a power move.
It's our special night.
Nathan opens the folder, his confident smile faltering as he sees the total. Is there a mistake? He says, his voice tight. They've only charged for drinks, not the food. He signals Javier, sharp. There's an error here. Javier approaches, his timing perfect, as if he's been watching this unfold. Is there a problem, sir? He asks, his tone smooth. Yes, Nathan says, pointing at the bill.
You forgot the meal charges.
Javier looks at me, his expression a silent question. I nod, the signal we've rehearsed.
The charade's over.
No error, sir, Javier says, turning to me with a warm smile.
Welcome back, Chef Tessa.
Your usual tables ready for your staff meeting. Shall I close the beverage tab? The table goes silent, 5 pairs of eyes swinging to me, shock rippling across their faces. This is it, the moment I've built toward. The dining room of Luminary, my Seattle restaurant, seems to hold its breath as Javier's words echo, welcome back, Chef Tessa. The gold-accented lights flicker softly, casting shadows across the faces of my family, frozen in disbelief at our central table. My mother, Claire, in her cream Chanel suit, grips her champagne flute, her knuckles white. My father, Robert, sets down his bourbon, his silver hair catching the candlelight as his jaw tightens.
My brother, Nathan, still holding the check, stares at me like Ivy morphed into a stranger, his tech bros vagagone.
Lauren, his wife, drops her fork, her diamond earrings glinting as she gapes. My sister, Elise, leans back, her black sheath dress creased, her smirk replaced by shock.
Tessa Monroe, 34, sit in my charcoal thrift store dress, my silver bracelet, Chef Amaras gift, steady against my wrist.
5 years of secrecy, of building this empire while they dismissed me as a failure, have led to this moment. I'm the owner of Luminary, and their world just tilted. Thank you, Javier, I say, my voice calm despite the adrenaline surging through me. Please close Mr. Monroe's beverage tab. The meal's on the house, as usual. Javier nods, his professional demeanor giving way to a warm smile. Very good, Chef. Chef Lin asks if you'll review the new fall menu tonight.
Nod.
I'll stop by the kitchen after my meeting. He takes the check folder from Nathan's slack grip and departs, leaving a silence so thick it feels like a physical weight. Claire recovers first, her voice trembling but sharp.
Tessa, what is this? You own this place.
Her eyes dart around Luminary, the dark wood tables, the Puget Sound views, the custom plates she critiqued all night, as if seeing it for the first time. Robert's gaze locks on me, his lawyer's instincts kicking in. Explain yourself, he says, his tone demanding. Nathan blinks, the check still in his hand. No way. Luminary's like the hottest spot in Seattle.
You're telling me you run it.
Lauren's laugh is nervous, almost shrill. This is a joke, right?
You're a cook.
Elise leans forward, her eyes narrowing. How? You dropped out of college, Tessa. You were broke. I rise, smoothing my dress, and step toward the center of the table, the spotlight of their attention now mine.
No joke, I say, my voice steady.
I'm Tessa Monroe, executive chef and sole owner of Luminary.
This is my restaurant, my team, my vision.
The words land like a match in dry grass, igniting their shock into a blaze of confusion and denial. The dining room hums around us, guests chatting, unaware of the drama unfolding, but my staff, Javier, Maya, Chef Lynn, watch subtly, their loyalty a quiet strength. That's impossible, Claire snaps, her composure cracking. This place was in food and wine, Tessa.
It's worth millions.
You couldn't, she stops, her hand fluttering to her pearls, a nervous tic I've known since childhood. Robert's voice cuts in, low but intense. How did you manage this? Who funded it? You had nothing when you left. Nathan shakes his head, his grin forced.
Come on, Tess.
You're pulling our leg. You're, what, a manager? Playing dress-up as owner. Elise scoffs, but it's weak. Yeah, no way you went from chopping onions to this. Who's really behind it? I meet each of their gazes, unflinching. I built Luminary myself, I say, my tone firm.
No Monroe money, no Monroe connections.
Just me, my work, and my team.
I pause, letting the truth sink in.
5 years ago, you cut me off when I chose culinary school over business. You said I'd fail, that cooking was for servants. I moved to Portland with $3,000, lived in a shared apartment, worked 16-hour shifts, and studied under Chef Amara Reyes. 2 years ago, an investor, Elena Voss, backed me to open Luminary. 6 months later, I bought her out. We're profitable, booked solid, and featured in every major food magazine. Nathan's eyes widen, the check crumpling in his fist. You bought out an investor? With what? Lauren's voice is high, disbelieving. You're saying you own this outright? That's insane. Elise leans back, her arms crossed, but her eyes betray curiosity. Prove it, she says, her lawyer's tone sharp. Claire's face flushes, her voice rising. Why didn't you tell us? We're your family, Tessa. We deserved to know. Did you? I counter, my voice calm but edged with years of hurt. You called my passion a hobby, said I'd come crawling back.
You mocked my choices, my life.
Why would I share my success with people who never believed in me? The table falls silent, their faces a mix of shock, guilt, and defiance. Around us, Luminary's rhythm continues, glasses clinking, plates clearing, but the tension at our table is a world apart. Robert clears his throat, his tone shifting to calculation. This is impressive, Tessa.
You've clearly got business sense, our genes, no doubt.
But keeping this secret? That's manipulative. His attempt to claim credit sparks a flare of anger in me.
Manipulative. I say, my voice low.
I wanted to see how you'd treat me if you thought I was still struggling. And you did, mocking my dress, questioning my finances, offering charity like I'm a failure. That's not family. That's judgment. Claire's hand tightens on her glass, her voice trembling. We were concerned, Tessa. We thought you were in over your head. If we'd known, I cut her off, my tone firm. If you'd known, you'd have respected me? No, Mom. You didn't respect my passion when I had nothing. You only care now because it comes with status. Elise shifts uncomfortably, her eyes darting to Nathan, who's staring at the table, his bravado gone. Lauren tries to smile, her voice coaxing. Tessa, we're proud, really. This is amazing. Why not share it sooner?
I laugh softly, the sound sharp.
Proud? You called my salmon fishy, my quail gamey, my pasta overrated. You sat here, in my restaurant, criticizing my life's work without a thought. Nathan looks up, his voice weak. We didn't know, Tess. How could we?
You hid it.
I meet his gaze, unflinching. I hid it because you never asked. You assumed I was less, and I let you, until now. Javier reappears, his timing impeccable.
Chef, the kitchen's ready for your menu review.
And Miss Voss called about the expansion meeting.
Highest words, deliberate, _ my authority. I note, turning back to my family. I have a business to run, I say, stepping away. Claire grabs my wrist, her grip desperate. Tessa, don't walk away.
We need to talk. Robert stands, his voice stern. You've made your point, but this isn't how family handles things.
I pull my hand free, my voice steady.
Family doesn't cut you off for chasing your dreams. Family doesn't mock you for years, then claim your success when it suits them. Elise's eyes flash, but she stays silent, her lawyer's poise faltering. Nathan tries to lighten the mood, his grin forced. Come on, Tess, let's not fight. This place is awesome. Maybe I can invest, scale it up, you know.
Lauren nods ärgerlich.
Yes, a chain. My firm could help with branding.
I shake my head, a bitter smile tugging at my lips.
Luminary's expanding to Vancouver next year, Nathan. I've got my investors, my team, my plan. I don't need your help. His face falls, and I feel a flicker of satisfaction. Claire's voice breaks, pleading. Tessa, we're sorry.
Let's start over.
Dinner at our place tomorrow, to celebrate you. Robert nods, his tone softer.
We misjudged you.
Let's make this right. I pause, their apologies heavy but hollow. 5 years ago, their rejection pushed me to Portland, to Amora's kitchen, to Luminary's birth. Their doubt was my fuel, but I've outgrown it. I'll think about it, I say finally. But if we talk, it's on my terms. No more judging my career, no more assuming you know better.
I glance at Nathan and Lauren.
And no business pitches. Nathan flushes, and Lauren looks away. Maya, my hostess, approaches, her voice soft. Chef, the food critics at table 6 are asking for you. Her presence is a lifeline, a reminder of the world I've built. I nod, turning to my family. Enjoy the rest of your evening, I say, walking away. Their eyes follow me, but I don't look back. The dining room parts, guests nodding as I pass, unaware of the drama. I'm Chef Tessa, and this is my stage. The dining room of Luminary, my Seattle restaurant, hums with the quiet elegance I've cultivated over 3 years as owner and executive chef. The gold-accented lights cast a warm glow over dark wood tables, and the Puget Sound sparkles through floor-to-ceiling windows, a backdrop to the drama that just unfolded. Moments ago, Javier, my head server, revealed my identity as Chef Tessa, owner of Luminary, shattering my family's smug assumptions. My mother, Claire, in her cream Chanel suit, sits stunned, her pearls clutched tightly. My father, Robert, in a navy blazer, stares at the table, his lawyer's composure cracked. My brother, Nathan, and his wife, Lauren, exchange bewildered glances, their tech bro confidence deflated. My sister, Elise, in a black sheath dress, grips her wine glass, her usual smirk gone. I, Tessa Monroe, 34, stand in my charcoal thrift store dress, my silver bracelet, Chef Amora's gift, steady against my wrist. 5 years of secrecy, of building this empire while they mocked my culinary dreams, have led to this confrontation, and I'm not done yet. I step away from the table, Javier's words, "Welcome back, Chef Tessa," still ringing in my ears. The dining room's rhythm continues, guests chatting, plates clearing, but my staff's subtle glances are a quiet anchor. Maya, my hostess, waits near the kitchen door, her expression a mix of pride and readiness. I nod, signaling I'll join her soon for the food critics at table 6, but first, I need to finish this. Claire's voice, sharp and desperate, stops me. Tessa, you can't just walk away, she says, rising, her heels clicking on the hardwood. We're your family. This stunt demands an explanation. I turn, meeting her gaze, my voice calm but firm. Stunt? I showed you the truth, Mom. You spent the evening mocking my dress, my job, my life, thinking I couldn't afford this dinner. Now you know I own the place. Robert stands, his tone authoritative but strained. Tessa, this is impressive, but ambushing us was unnecessary. We're here to celebrate, not be humiliated. Nathan tries to laugh, his grin forced. Yeah, Tess, chill. This place is cool, but why hide it? We could have helped. Lauren nods, her diamonds glinting. Exactly. My firm could have done your branding, taken this to the next level. I cross my arms, a bitter smile tugging at my lips. Help? You cut me off 5 years ago when I chose culinary school. You said I'd fail, that cooking was for servants. I built Luminary without your money, your connections, or your approval. I don't need your branding, Lauren. We're expanding to Vancouver next year, and Vogue's featuring us in their fall issue. Their faces shift, Claire's to shock, Robert's to calculation, Nathan's to envy, Elise's to grudging respect. The truth is sinking in, but they're scrambling to reclaim control. Elise leans forward, her lawyer's tone sharp. So this was your plan? To let us criticize your food, your dress, knowing you were behind it all? That's not success, that's spite. Her words sting, echoing the Tessa who once craved their approval, but I've outgrown that pain. Spite. I say, my voice low.
No, Elise.
I wanted to see how you'd treat me if you thought I was still struggling. You showed me exactly who you are, judging my salmon, my quail, my pasta, without a thought. You didn't critique my food, you critiqued me. Claire's hand flutters to her pearls, her voice trembling. We didn't know, Tessa. If you'd told us, we would have been proud. Robert nods, his tone softer but patronizing. You've got our business sense, clearly. We could have guided you, invested, advised. His attempt to claim credit ignites a spark of anger. You don't get to claim this, I say, my tone icy. I worked 16-hour shifts, lived on $3,000 in Portland, studied under Chef Amora Reyes. An investor, Elena Voss, believed in me, not you. I bought her out, made Luminary profitable, and earned 4 stars from the Seattle Times. This is mine. Nathan shifts uncomfortably, his voice weak. We messed up, okay? But we're family. Let's move forward. I could connect you with VCs, scale this into a chain. Lauren jumps in, her tone eager. Yes, a franchise. My network could. I cut them off, my voice firm. Luminary's not a franchise. It's a vision. I'm opening a second location in Vancouver, fully funded. My team's handling it, not your VCs. Nathan's face falls, and I feel a flicker of satisfaction. They're grasping, trying to latch onto my success now that it's undeniable. Claire's eyes glisten, but it's not sadness, it's embarrassment. You let us sit here, Tessa, making fools of ourselves, she says, her voice low but venomous. That's cruel. I step closer, my gaze steady. Cruel? You called my dress thrift store trash, said I'd bankrupt myself eating here. You offered to cover me like I'm a charity case. That's not love, Mom. That's superiority. Elise looks away, her fingers tightening on her glass. Robert clears his throat, his tone conciliatory. We misjudged you, Tessa. Let's talk this out. Dinner at our place tomorrow. We'll celebrate properly. I pause, their apologies heavy but hollow. 5 years ago, their rejection pushed me to Portland, to Amora's kitchen, to Luminary's creation. Their doubt was my fuel, but I don't need it anymore. I'll consider it, I say finally, my voice steady. But if we talk, it's on my terms. No more comments about my career, no more unsolicited advice, and no networking through my restaurant. I glance at Nathan and Lauren, who look suitably chastened. Claire's voice breaks, pleading. Tessa, we're sorry. We want to make this right. Before I can respond, Maya approaches, her voice soft but urgent. Chef, the critics at table 6 are waiting, and Elena's on the line about Vancouver. Her presence is a reminder of the world I've built, one where respect is earned, not inherited. I nod, turning back to my family. I have work to do, I say, stepping away. Claire tries to follow, her voice rising. Tessa, please. Robert grabs her arm, his tone firm. Let her go, Claire. We'll talk later. I walk toward the kitchen, the dining room parting as guests nod or smile, unaware of the family drama. Javier catches my eye, his grin subtle but proud. Maya leads me to table 6, where 2 food critics from Eater Seattle praise my deconstructed lemon tart, asking for an interview. I agree, my professional mask intact, but inside, I'm electric. The confrontation was raw, but it freed me. I don't need their pride, I've earned my own. As I slip into the kitchen, the familiar chaos, sizzling pans, clanging knives, Chef Lynn's sharp orders, grounds me. My team greets me with nods, their trust a quiet strength. I review the fall menu, suggesting a new dish, braised short ribs with miso and pickled plums, inspired by Marisol's adobo. Lynn grins, scribbling notes. That's a winner, chef. I take a moment, leaning against the counter, the hum of Luminary wrapping around me. This is my home, my empire, built from scratch. Later, as the restaurant quiets, I check my phone. A text from Nathan. Sorry, Tess. Didn't know. Let's talk soon. Elise sent an email, short but sincere. I was wrong. Luminary's incredible. Can we meet? Claire left a voicemail, her voice shaky. Tessa, we're proud. Please, let's fix this. Robert's message is curt. Dinner tomorrow, 7 p.m. We'll make amends. I don't reply, not yet. Their apologies are a start, but trust is earned, not given. I step into my office, a small room overlooking the sound, and open my laptop. A draft from my cookbook, light from the kitchen, waits, a collection of recipes and stories from my journey. I type a new line. Food is my truth. When doubt darkened my path, I cooked. When family turned away, I fed strangers. Luminary is my beacon, built not for their praise, but for my purpose. The words flow, a release of the night's tension. As I lock up, Javier and Maya linger, sensing my mood. You okay, chef? Maya asks, her eyes warm. I smile, genuine. Better than okay. Thanks for tonight.
Javier grins.
They didn't see it coming. Proud of you. Their support, like Amara's, Marisol's and Elena's, is the family I've chosen. I walk into the Seattle night, the drizzle cool on my skin, Luminary's sign glowing behind me. Tomorrow's challenges, critics, Vancouver, the family, await, but tonight, I'm at peace. I've claimed my truth, and no one can dim it. The morning light filters through the windows of my office at Luminary, my Seattle restaurant, casting a soft glow over the polished wood desk where I sit, sipping espresso. The Puget Sound sparkles outside, a quiet reminder of the empire I've built. It's been 3 weeks since my father's 60th birthday dinner, when Javier, my head server, revealed me as Chef Tessa, owner of Luminary, shocking my family out of their smug assumptions. My mother, Claire, my father, Robert, my brother, Nathan, his wife, Lauren, and my sister, Elise, spent the evening mocking my thrift store dress and assumed poverty, unaware I'd created one of Seattle's finest dining destinations. That night, I confronted their years of dismissal, and now, as I review plans for Luminary's Vancouver expansion, I feel a profound shift. I'm Tessa Monroe, 34, and I've found peace not in their approval, but in the legacy I've cooked from scratch. My silver bracelet, Chef Amara's gift, rests against my wrist, grounding me as I open my laptop. A draft from my cookbook, light from the kitchen, waits, its pages filled with recipes and stories from my journey. Last night, I added a new chapter about the birthday dinner, a raw reflection on turning pain into purpose. Luminary's hum drifts through the closed door. Prep cooks chopping, ovens warming, Javier briefing the staff. This is my home, built from 5 years of grit, from Portland's grueling kitchens to Seattle's spotlight. Food and Wine's feature last month called Luminary, a culinary beacon, and Eater Seattle's recent review gave us 5 stars. But the real victory is personal. I've stopped measuring my worth through my family's eyes. The aftermath of that night has been a slow unraveling. After I walked away from their table, leaving their apologies hanging, they reached out. Claire's voicemail was tearful. Tessa, we're proud. Let's fix this. Robert's text was curt. Dinner tomorrow, 7 p.m. We'll make amends. Nathan offered a half-hearted sorry, Tess. Let's talk. Elisa's email was the most sincere. I was wrong. Luminary's incredible. Can we meet? I didn't respond immediately, needing space to process. Their words felt like a belated attempt to claim a piece of my success, but I couldn't ignore our shared history. Late-night talks with Elise, Robert's rare smiles, Claire's fierce love, however conditional. The next evening, I went to their Bellevue mansion, its manicured lawns and grand foyer as imposing as ever. The dining room, with its crystal chandelier and starched linens, felt smaller than I remembered. Claire served salmon en croûte, her effort to impress almost touching. Robert poured a Barolo, better paired this time. His lawyer's poise softened. Nathan and Lauren were subdued, their tech bro bravado absent. Elise, in a simple sweater, met my gaze with something like respect. They apologized again, Claire's voice breaking. "We didn't know, Tessa. We thought you were struggling. We're so sorry." Robert nodded, his tone earnest. "We misjudged you. Luminary's remarkable. We want to support you now." Nathan offered, "I've got VCs who'd love to invest, grow your brand." Lauren chimed in, "My firm could handle PR, get you in more magazines." Elise was quieter, her words careful.
I'm proud, Tess.
I should have seen it sooner. Their apologies were genuine but tinged with self-interest, as if my success reframed their narrative. I set down my fork, my voice steady. "Thank you, but I don't need investments or PR. Luminary's thriving, and I built it without you. If we move forward, it's with respect, no more judging my path." Claire's eyes glistened, and she reached for my hand, but I kept mine folded. "We understand," she said, her voice soft. Robert nodded, a rare admission. "You've earned that respect." Nathan and Lauren exchanged glances, chastened. Elise smiled faintly. "I'd like to visit Luminary, if you'll have me." I agreed to consider it, leaving with a fragile hope, not for reconciliation, but for a relationship on my terms. Since then, life has surged forward. Luminary's Vancouver location is set to open next spring, with permits secured and a local chef hired. Elena Voss, my original investor, flew in last week to finalize funding, praising my vision. Vogue's feature, titled Tessa Monroe, Seattle's culinary star, hit stands next month, with photos of me in my chef's coat, not my thrift store dress. I've launched a mentorship program at a local culinary school, inspired by Amara's guidance. Every Saturday, I teach 10 aspiring chefs, many from underserved backgrounds, to hone their craft. One student, Mia, 19, reminds me of myself, passionate, doubted, hungry for a chance. I've offered her a part-time role at Luminary, watching her confidence bloom with each shift. My family's outreach has been cautious but steady. Claire calls weekly, asking about recipes, her tone awkward but genuine. Robert sent a legal article about restaurant trademarks, a silent effort to engage. Nathan texted about a tech conference, inviting me to Luminary afterward, no VC pitch attached. Elise visited last week, dining alone at the bar, leaving a note, "Your tart was perfect. I'm sorry, and I'm here." Their gestures aren't forgiveness, but they're steps. Healing, I've learned, isn't a grand reunion. It's small, deliberate acts, rewriting old patterns. Tonight, I'm hosting a private tasting for Seattle's food critics, testing the fall menu, braised short ribs with miso, roasted squash with hazelnuts, and a pear tart with cardamom cream. Javier and Maya are prepping the dining room, Chef Lynn's team firing on all cylinders. As I plate a sample in the kitchen, Lynn grins. "This menu's a hit, chef. You good?" I nod, smiling. Better than good. The tasting goes flawlessly, critics raving about the short ribs, one tweeting, "Luminary's fall menu is pure art. Book now." Mia, shadowing me, takes notes, her eyes wide with awe. Afterward, I sit in my office, the sounds waves glinting under moonlight. My cookbook draft is open, and I write a new foreword, "Cooking is my language." When doubt silenced me, I spoke through flavors. When family turned away, I fed the world. Luminary is my light, built not for their praise, but for the joy of creating something true. The words flow, a release of the journey's weight. I think of Marisol, who taught me adobo, Amara, who shaped me, Elena, who believed in me. They're my real family, alongside Javier, Maya, Lynn, and Mia. My phone buzzes, a text from Claire, "Saw the Eater review. So proud. Can we visit Luminary soon?" I hesitate, then reply, "Next week, 6 p.m. bring Elise." It's not full trust, but it's an opening. Tomorrow, I'll meet Mia's class, plan Vancouver's menu, and call Amara to thank her. But tonight, I'm at peace. That dinner wasn't the end, it was a spark, igniting my truth. I've built an empire, not to prove them wrong, but to prove myself right. The restaurant quiets, my team calling goodnights. I lock up, stepping into Seattle's drizzle, Luminary's sign glowing behind me. The city's alive, and so am I. I've found my light, and it burns brighter than their doubt ever could. Have you ever had to claim your truth against those who doubted you? Share your story below, and if this resonated, hit that like button. Subscribe for more tales of triumph, and share this with someone who needs to know their dreams are enough.